All right, I'm recording this first without the camera. So good morning, good afternoon to some, and good evening to even others around the world. This is Johnny B. I want you to see something nice here. This is every day, every single day I could post up something on identity politics and virtue signaling. Here is a Jew, Eliza Shapiro. If I was to look into Eliza Shapiro, I bet you they happen to be a left-wing activist. Let's find out. I haven't looked yet. I write about... I bet you I could look more into it. Okay? But it looks like it just from that picture. They believe in a lot about diversity and things like that. Okay. So that people understand that conservatives are not racist. It's not about the fact that we don't want black people to succeed or that we don't want Hispanic or Asian people to succeed. That's not the point at all. We want them to succeed. All right? What we do not want is identity politics being used. In other words, getting on your own merit. Here, this is a very exclusive school in New York, 895 students, and only a handful of black people got in. And only a handful of Hispanic people got in. What they did not tell you is how many Asians got in. They never want to include the Asians in the minority race. You want to know why? Because Asians kick royal ass when it comes to getting into top schools. That's a fact. Okay. Now, there's another thing I started learning, too, when I started to learn about identity politics and virtue signaling. Back in the... around the 30s. Okay. Anyone that had any bit of black blood in them, 25%, 30%, 40%, 50%, okay, they were considered black. In today's society, we see a lot of identity politics and something called intersectionality. Okay? People liking to claim that they are a diverse group. So going down, even down to 10%, okay? All right. But if America is 13% black American, how many of those people that are considered black American are more than 50% black? What's the percentage? 13% are considered black by the standards that have been given. What's the real percentage? For example, is Tiger Woods considered black or Asian? See what I'm talking about? Actually, has more Asian blood than he does black blood. But if you ask black people, they'll tell you he's black. Okay? I don't think Tiger Woods considers himself only a black American. I think he considers himself multiracial. In other words, he doesn't like to be put in that little box. Let's go back to the discrimination thing that people sometimes talk about with conservatives, especially after the whole Obama era of trying to create divisiveness. The whole point of this Sabbatinism, this whole thing to try to destroy capitalism and to introduce socialism, is to fake everybody out and then tell everybody we love you, inclusive. Okay? But in actuality, it's about exclusivity. Okay? It's inclusive for everyone that is not a straight white male Christian. Okay? Alright? Now, when you're in these little echo chambers, and they are echo chambers, what happens is they are, and sometimes they try to intertwine, like the LGB, here comes the T, and then here comes the Q. Let's throw in the genders too, the 71 different genders. Let's pop that in there. What happens is they all start to fight, okay? Because they all want to have, they all want to be recognized. It's the first time in their life that they feel like they have any power. All of their life long, they've been considered weird. For the first time in their life, they feel like they're part of a group that's fighting for their rights, even though they're weird. Okay? Alright? And they're weird to people like me, what they call the normies. So normies are what are normal people. Okay? So we don't try to act in a way that would be, how do I want to put it? Well, we have values, Christian values. What's the last thing though? What have we noticed over the last 15 years? They've been trying to push that our country is a secular country. They're trying to push it to be that. But you got people like Donald Trump that are constantly telling people, we believe in God, faith in God, trying to bring back and restore God in our country. Get rid of the Johnson Amendment so that that we can have more power at the pulpit. Okay? We are trying to reverse the whole atheistic trend. We're trying to reverse the whole subjective science of postmodernism. Okay? Because what we're finding is all of this is extremely disruptive and it's cancerous. Okay? Everyone starts hating everybody. They all at the beginning think they love everyone. Peace, love. And then they all start hating each other. Okay? Alright. So, on an earlier video, I talked about introducing people to, like I said, all of this is just little by little introduction into why the left thinks the way they do. Okay? They have, according to Yuri Bezmenov says during the during the demoralization stage and the destabilization stage. The demoralization stage takes 15 to 20 years to completely indoctrinate a group of people. One generation. What we have found out is it doesn't take 15 years to indoctrinate people. But it takes at least 10 years from the age of 4 to 14 to indoctrinate them into the point where they believe that they're homosexual, okay, or they believe they're different. Okay? So it doesn't take 15 to 20 years. We find that if they are someone who happens to be mentally unstable, they can leave high school and enter college, and then next thing you know, they got purple hair, a pierced tongue, and they're telling you they want their penis chopped off. Okay, so the indoctrination in these college schools are amazing. Start looking at what they have on these campuses. What they have on these campuses is the promotion of these very, very, they call it liberal, but Sabatinist groups, Sabbatean groups, and the LGBT community. We got the all black club. But if you're like an all Republican group, oh my God, you're a racist. Okay. If you're a Christian, oh good God. All right. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to remove anyone that doesn't think like them. For crying out loud, California is trying to outlaw, this is no bullshit, they're trying to outlaw the sale of Bibles in California. Again, I'm going to tell you this so many times if you keep following me. Never take my word for stuff. Look it up. Okay? They're trying to outlaw the Bible. get rid of Christianity. Okay? Because in the Bible it preaches that homosexuality is a sin. And you have the LGBT community, which is part of this Sabbatean ideology, okay, Sabbatism, that doesn't want to hear that or see that. They're trying to remove Christianity. Only their beliefs are right and everybody else's is wrong. Okay? Remember I told you the whole point of it is to have everyone believe eventually that sin, that unholy deeds, that perversion will finally become normalized and then become holy. The next step is they're trying to shove transgenderism down our throat. Okay? After transgenderism, then they're going to go towards pedophilia. The NAMBLA, N-A-M-B-L-A group is already making a big move. Many members of NAMBLA are part of the Billionaires Boys. Now they'd get 30, 35 years in jail. But if you can normalize it, they may go from 35 years in jail to a slap on the wrist to nothing. Okay? Right now, they have to go around to a community and tell everyone that they're a sexual offender. But eventually, what they're hoping is that they can be normal. And that they can take their penis and slap it in a baby's face. And that will be considered normal. Okay? And eventually they'll be able to have sex with your dog and screw your dead child because that they sacrificed. Sick. That's their goal. True and utter Sabbatism. Okay. I know some people that came out in the 80s, and they told me, and they're like, Johnny, I'm gonna tell you this right now. They're saying that when they went through the parades back in the 80s, they were proud to be gay and whatnot like that. But now they can't stand the parades. It's all political. It's they can see the Luciferian behavior behind it. They couldn't see the Luciferian behavior behind themselves, but it's gone so far left that some of them are able to see it now. Some of them are going to have to wake up and recognize it. Now, what we're trying to tell you is we're not trying to reverse their homosexuality. And the reason I believe is you don't want to do that necessarily is because between the ages of 4 to 14 is when you're making that imprint on their brain. That's the time the brain is hardwired. After that, they literally believe that they're gay. There's nothing you're going to do to change it. So for you to try to unchange that, I think you would do more harm than good. I really do. I think you would. But if they can recognize what happened, they can understand it. They still have the cognitive ability in their brain to understand what has happened and what's going on. And if they don't allow indoctrination in their family, then you have succeeded on something. If they go back to church again or whatever it is. Okay? In other words, if they recognize what they are, at the same time they recognize how they got that way, the real reason they got that way, then you have success. Okay? All right. Finalizing back here. Eliza Shapiro was talking about this. This is identity politics. Okay. Virtue signaling. Okay. You know, feel sorry for the black people. Feel sorry for the Hispanics. This public school, they're letting you insinuate that the rest are white. They're not talking about how many Aleutian Islanders are in there. Probably none, maybe one. How many Asians are on there? Probably 80. quite a few. And how many white people are in there? They're letting you assume that the rest are all white. Okay? This is what the media does. Okay? They try to insinuate that our world is always racist, that there is a systemic racism in our country. There isn't. Okay? Everything about postmodernism is to create echo chambers, to live in a victimhood mentality, and that everyone around you is a racist, bigot, xenophobe, misogynist, sexist, bigot, Islamophobe. Okay? Everyone around you is causing your oppression. No, folks. If you are in one of those echo chambers, you are causing your own oppression. You have chosen to be a victim. No one is making you a victim but you. Okay? Bad things happen in people's lives. It happened in my life. You pick up, you dust yourself off, and you move on.
Powering off.
That's all you do. Okay? Peace out.